I think pitching is like the most fun thing I've ever done, maybe.
Yeah, and I grew up pitching, learning like the basic mechanics, and then my freshman year of high school, I had a little elbow problem, so I didn't start really pitching again until the fall going into or summer at this time, summer going into my senior year of high school. So I was kind of wasn't really getting recruited a ton out of high school as a hitter, and then hopped on the mound one time in summer for my uh, travel ball team at the time, and it's like, whoa, what the heck just happened? Like you throw hard now. And then I started getting recruited my like fall of senior year for pitching after having not pitched in
How hard do you throw now?
about like 90, 93. So not too hard, but
You got fast enough to get drafted like you did in 2024. So enough to make it to the next level, but that's still elite speed for the college level.
yeah, it's good. I'm not complaining, but you always, as a pitcher, you're always trying to get the more out of yourself. So 90, 93 hopefully turns into eventually maybe 93 to 95 more consistently.
So what was your journey? You end up walking on here because you're not heavily recruited, like you said. You were doing more hitting in high school. You start to pitch a little bit, realize I might have a chance at this. I throw a hard enough fastball, etc. What was your decision to kind of come here and walk on versus like a lot of players go JUCO or go other routes when they aren't getting the attention they want? What kind of gave you the courage to walk on and try to make the team that way?
I had belief. We had a prior pitching coach here, Matt Floor. I was same size I am now, 6'3", but 150 pounds in high school, so I was a stick. And I was applying to colleges, just to like colleges that I would enjoy to going as a normal student. So it's like I don't know if JUCO is necessarily the route for me. Um, Started getting some like talk from schools here and there, and then Flo reached out in what would have been probably like September of my senior year of high school, and like we were talking all fall, and we had a camp coming in here, um, like President's Day camp for high schools in January. They watched me throw and then offered me a walk-on spot, and it was like I would get into this school like as a normal student, hopefully, but like baseball adds to it. And if baseball somehow doesn't work out, this is a great school to attend, not only academics, but you're in an insane area in San Diego. Um, so they took a chance on me and just worked hard,
That's
never
great.
gave up.
And so, how'd you break through? Like, your real breakthrough didn't come until the year you got drafted. That's when, like, you all of a sudden went from, zero to an elite college baseball reliever. But what were the kind of steps up from walk on to? 'Cause it's crazy to think about it. Like, you got drafted, but you're not a scholarship player until now.
Yeah.
That's that's insane, right? So, like, and then, like, how'd you like? I got so many questions out of that, but like, starting with like, how did you work your way up to that breakout where you went from walk on to the level you ended up getting that got you to the point where you got picked by the Diamondbacks? Pretty cool.
I was a redshirt, so I went to all the games but never played.
Still a big deal though.
Yeah, yeah, appreciate that. And then so watch all those guys. You're absorbing what all of them are doing. Big guy for that actually for me was my now pitching coach, Grady Miller. So I got to play with him. Now he's my coach, but he was one of those guys that kind of like takes you under your wing in a sense. And he is a 6 year with someone that I really looked up to and admired his work ethic. I knew that he came in here every day and he was pushing himself to the brink. And whether that be like conditioning, he was on it, always finishing first in conditioning. Like he could be a 6 year, be like, I'm not going to do that. Like I've already proven myself. Or he could come in here and you could be like, I'm going to make myself work harder. So then the guy at the bottom sees that I'm working harder than him, and it forces him to raise his floor. And so you see a guy like that, it's a guy that, like I said, I admire, which I've then tried to do. And it's like, I know I can always be better. I can always push myself to be better. So then you go and all these like summer ball things, which was big for me because I also didn't play it all my freshman year, go to summer ball, pitch a little bit. Then I get hurt my shoulder a little bit then. So then I had to rehab that my sophomore year. And then goes into other summer ball. I then went to Alaska and started throwing really well, which was kind of like my first like glimmer of, okay, maybe like I can be successful at this. And I started to take that and run with it. And then the season stats didn't necessarily show it, but I think it was more of me continuing to grow into my body as well as maturing a little bit in my mind. Because I'd still get into that game and it'd be going really fast and I'd be like super excited to be in there, a little out of control. And then I sat down with my head coach at the time, Brock, 25, and we were talking about my summer ball plans for the summer of 2023. And it came down to I really wanted to go to a facility and try and chase that velo. And he's like, to be honest, I think you just need to go out there and get as many reps as you can. So I listened to him, which was probably the best thing that I ever did. And I went out to the Northwoods and I was pitching I was starting kind of like a hybrid start. I'd throw 3 innings every 5 days, which I'd never done before. Really tough on my body. But I learned how to pitch when my arm and body wasn't feeling well. Like I'd go into this day and be like, this is the best that I feel today. And as a pitcher, I feel like that's a key component to have because you're not always going to feel 100%. Some days you're going to feel 75%. And you still have to go out there and throw. The batter, the people, the team you're playing, they don't know that. So you're just giving your best that you have that day. So I went out there, and I mean, the Northwoods is a grind. You're playing 70 days and or 70 games in 60 days.
Wow.
So yeah, you're traveling all over the Midwest, long bus rides.
That's a lot of baseball.
Oh, it's a ton of baseball. If you you gotta love baseball. But it's very similar to like what I've heard from minor league travel. So it's getting you prepared for the next level if you want to do that. But I went out there and I found success in doing that. And then that helped build a little bit of confidence based off the results. And then just coming in here for my senior year at the time, which is my 4th year, you have a little more confidence coming back as a senior because you've been here a while, as well as you're building off the confidence you have from the summer. And it kind of just snowballed into the season that I was fortunate enough to have.
That's crazy. It was a big, big breakout. A few things. What was your favorite part of Alaska? I found a lot of people only go there. That's pretty cool.
There's a lot. All my buddies, we'd be out fishing till 2 a.m. You'd catch your limit. You'd catch your 6 fish a day at like 11:50 p.m. And then you go back out at 12:05 and catch 6 more. It was that, and then we'd also just go get golf carts, go play golf, and we'd be out in the golf course at like 11:30 p.m. Because the sun doesn't set there until it kind of sets. You get like a little like dusky, a little dawn, to where it's like a little dark, but you can see. We'd be playing a round of 18, 10:30 at night. You're just always with them, always out and about doing something.
Crazy. Like, how many hours of actual darkness are there?
Towards the end of summer, it got to be a little more. You'd be like towards like 1 a.m. it'd start to get a little dark.
So weird.
But even then, like it'd be 1 a.m. and it's kind of like if you're in the like up at early in the morning, like when it's dark outside but the sun's like about to come up is what it's about. It's like the darkest it got. So it's kind of trippy, but it's really cool because you also don't get as tired. So we were always like we'd play our baseball game at 5 o'clock and then we'd go do something right after.
I've never been anywhere like that. That just it really just must it must change your mindset a lot. Like whereas like by nature of it not being dark, you are out golfing at 10:30. It's just like you see it still light outside. It's like Vegas, how they trip out your mind, but like in real life with that color, you're like without the outdoors, like you're just like, oh, looks like it's still normal time. Let me go and just do the things I would be doing.
Yeah, 100%. And it honestly made it fun because it's like baseball, while like you were there to play baseball, the summer was so much more than baseball. So it kind of, I don't want to say reignited my love for baseball, but it gave me a new appreciation because it's like baseball gives you this, but it's also like I walked away from that summer ball team with great friends who I still talk to today and we're still in communication with, as well as like I was spending so much more time off the baseball field with these guys doing just kind of stupid stuff that whatever we could do or find to do to kill time.
Is a 7 p.m. game there like a day game? That's the last
Essentially, yeah.
in my head right
Yeah.
now.
You'd be because there's no lights. So we would be out there, we'd start like a 6 o'clock game and the game would finish and there'd still be light out.
That's weird.
Crazy.
That's just a strange. That's a strange thing. You have your season where you're starting to throw 3 innings, you stretch yourself out more. Did that like give you more confidence when you didn't have to pitch as many innings anymore? Just that you had that extra juice in the tank.
It gave me 100%. Because I think the years past I'd struggled with. I'd throw a clean inning and then I'd go back out there for that second inning and I'd find a little bit of not necessarily struggle, but I wasn't as fine point on where I want. I'd walk a little bit more guys here and there. Going summer ball, obviously, like you said, increasing that inning limit or threshold, I'd say, just proved that you have to stay a little more locked in. I'd gas out in that first inning, just like everything I had's in this inning. And then I'd go back out there for that second inning, like still trying to do the same thing, but I don't have as much in the tank.
Then given 3. Was that advice you give to relievers kind of working through their process in college is maybe 2, during summer ball, find opportunities to extend yourself a little bit because it's a lot less pressure in that environment than it is when you're playing here in front of all your other peers and, all the pressure. It's probably much better to have that experience in the
100%.
summer.
Yeah, I think that as well as realizing that you're playing a game, and just because you're in summer ball, this is where I also think it took a big jump because you get into a game like season, and season feels like it has so much more weight on it than you when you go out and play in summer ball. Summer ball is like, I could go out here and I could have the game of my life or the worst game. I don't care what happens because it's summer ball. And I feel like taking that mentality into the season helped me a lot because at the end of the day, I'm still pitching the same as I was in summer ball as I am in season. The only thing that's changing is my mentality to it. And once I change that mentality of like, some days are going to be good, some days are going to be bad, but the majority of the days that I can just keep, not necessarily average, but okay, I'll find success.
And you were able to that season. And then that had to be a difficult situation how it all unfolds. You get drafted in the 17th round by the Diamondbacks. You thought you were going to sign, right?
Yeah. I wanted to sign, yeah.
You thought you were ready to go play pro baseball.
Yep. Yes, sir.
You got drafted. It's the dream of every college baseball player. It's crazy. You've gotten that perspective here. It must have meant a lot. It's insane to me, like the type of players that you'll see on a D1 baseball team that don't get drafted.
100%.
You had great teammates that like played, had scholarships, did all the things. You give them a scholarship, and then you get drafted at 17th round. What did that feel like to have not gotten a scholarship your whole run, stayed a walk on, did all the summer ball, did all the work, and you get the honor of getting called that you were an MLB draft pick?
It's on top of the world. I'm going through, I tore my elbow at the end of, just before the end of our 24 season, and didn't really think I had a shot at that point, and ended up getting a call. And I mean, I felt like I could have, I don't even know, a smile in your ear. I felt invincible. I was happiest I've probably not ever been, but I mean, it's up there. It's a dream come true.
And then how does it unfold then from there where you aren't able to sign?
It's just, I mean, it's unfortunate. I think it was just maybe a lack of communication, or I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but I think lack of communication or lack of, I don't know. I don't want to phrase this in a weird way to like,
I understand what you're saying. But like, so they weren't fully up to speed on your injury when they made the pick.
yeah,
And so even despite the fact that it just goes to show people who are like casual listening is like, people try to collect as much information as they can before a draft, but there are a lot of times where you're making 20 draft picks. They just didn't fully do their homework before the draft pick, essentially.
yeah,
And that was just a really disappointing thing on your end because you just assume like, oh, the organization drafts me. They knew how hurt I was when I made the pick, but they at least by the time that it was over, they claimed they didn't.
yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. I'd talked to a couple other teams, and they had called me asking why I wasn't pitching, and they didn't. And so I was under the impression that I just like, they know, so I feel like everybody must know. And the cards just unfolded in a poor way for myself. But
That's wild.
everything happens for a reason.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And so then you come back here, have an entire year off recovering, but still, and you're paying for college at this point too. You're just paying for school, like just helping out for the heck of it.
Yeah. I know, don't want your college career to end the way it did. Unfortunately, I didn't want my last pitch to be with a blown out elbow. So I knew that, hey, it's going to take a little bit of time for me to recover, but I'm going to give everything I have in my recovery. And if that is, fortunately, you're not breaking the bank with the grad program, but my parents blessed me.
That is a really wonderful thing, first of all. And second of all, I think is so cool. You must love this place. Because if you were to have entered the portal after getting drafted, even injured, there would have been a team that would have probably stepped up and said, yeah, we'll look at a 2-year deal here and we'll get you healthy and we'll get you out there in the SEC next year. But like, you wanted to be a player for the Toreros, which is pretty sensational.
Yeah. I mean, I'll stick by it. I love Brock. I love 2-5. He's had my back. I've dealt with a couple injuries while I've here from some shoulder stuff, fracturing my back. he's been through it with me all. Never turned away from me. Always been like my right hand man, and I'll ever forever be grateful for him.
That is the coolest thing. And so last season must have been tough. Like, A, you're not playing. B, you have to watch your team lose their first 9 game. Then you watch your team win 6 of 30. That's about as bad as it gets in baseball. Like, it's hard to lose. It's true. Like, it's hard. Baseball's a sport. It's hard to win 20%. Like, it's like, even in the MLB, the worst team is winning more than 20%. It's hard to win 20%, especially not the standards here.
Yeah.
That must have been brutal.
Yeah, I mean, it's not what you want. And unfortunately, when you feel like you're just there supporting and you really can't help, you're kind of just like kicking yourself because you're like, what could I have prepared them better? Maybe I messed up somewhere in my leadership. I don't know, kind of looking at yourself in the mirror a little bit, like, could I have changed something for this? Like, did I mess anything up? But then you turn it around and then, I don't know, you win a game at UCLA in the 14th inning, like 14 inning thriller, and turns your season around.
It's awesome. And like, it's almost like it just shows the coaching, the program, the culture. I think it shines through in a season like that. That shows that you got an amazing leader of men in your dugout, because you know what? To start the season 6-24 and finish winning the regular season standings for the conference, #1 seed heading into the conference tournament, that's amazing. Like, to have a group of guys that believe in themselves that much, they could start that low and still be the conference regular season champion. That's some pretty sensational stuff right there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what better mark there is of a great culture than a team that can be put to their lowest low and then still come out on top at the end of it.
Yeah. I mean, the fact he never gave up on us, never changed. He was always the same guy, whether we were winning, whether we were losing. We're in the thick of a losing streak. He showed up, smile on his face, wasn't acting like the world was ending, which kind of, we were like, what, the world might be ending. And he was like, no, we're fine. Something's going to happen. I just feel it. Something ended up happening. And that just goes into him as a coach having that faith in us, but also not panicking when stuff's not going your way, which in life, it's not always going to go your way.
You've experienced that. What do you think the hardest moment of your, there's a lot of highs and lows. What do you think the hardest moment of your college career was?
Uh, uh, Tara,
You had a lot of options.
yeah,
Of
it's
course.
definitely tearing my elbow. I mean, I felt like, and it's unfortunate. Obviously, it's going to happen. You can't control it. Um, but, and I don't, it's a team sport, so I don't want to make it about myself. But maybe
That's hard,
if
though.
I don't tear my elbow, maybe we go to a super. And I'm not going to say that I'm changing that, but it's a big what if.
You don't know because you're relief pitcher. You don't know if there's 2 or 3 games where you come in late in the game, you hold an inning or 2. It's just, you're thinking about that as any player who wants to contribute to their team.
100%.
You also do the whole season of, like, you want to be out. I'm sure that they're early in the season, probably even more so thinking about the playoffs. Early in the season at 6-24. Guarantee there was a few games in there that you thought, hey, that you lost late, that if I was in there, we maybe win that game.
Yeah, potentially. You never know.
You're
And
still
I'm also,
a
yeah,
player, though.
yeah, 100%.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And when you're a part of a team culture like that, you want to contribute. It's not a selfish thing. It's that you're thinking. It doesn't mean you would have. It just means that you're thinking the game ended and you're just walking back to the car and you're like, oh, my elbow had been all right.
Yeah.
My teammates might be celebrating right now.
Yeah. There's always that what if, unfortunately, but that's the way the cookie crumbles.
What do you think your biggest lessons were in the year where you sat in the bench? How did you become a better baseball player the year you sat?
You're more focused, I want to say, on yourself, unfortunately, in a team game, but taking a step out of it and being like, I'm fully removed. Like, I can't help on the field. What can I do off the field? And maybe it's building relationships up. Different guys need different things. And whether that be, hey, like, you want to talk about something, like maybe I see something that you're feeling and it's not being communicated to you at the time, or maybe you just want to talk to something like as a player, and I'm pretty unbiased because I'm not doing anything. So just get something off your chest and maybe that helps you in return.
But when injury forces you to sit down, I think it really just kind of there's a level of growth that it forces you to grow other parts of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big maturing. I think it took a lot of me looking outside of myself in a sport where years before I was looking inside myself of what do I need to do better to help the team succeed through my physical being, and then taking it out of it and being kind of like a player coach, but more in a coach's shoes, is like, what can I do better to prepare the group of pitchers that I'm dealing with to make them the best versions of themselves when they go out there to help us as a team win.
And what are you most excited about for this year?
I'm excited just to go to war with all these guys. There's a lot of new guys. And something that I really loved in 2024 was when we were the best team I'd been on here was we were loose. We were having fun, but we knew when to lock it in and when it was time to get going. And I feel like I have a very similar vibe from that team as we do on this team. We're also a little bit older, which is nice, not only to hang out with these guys, not that I only hang out with older guys, but it's nice collectively. You feel a little more belonging to the team because last year we were really young and there weren't as many graduate guys on the team. But it takes a little bit of the load off of the leadership things for me, having all of these other guys that have been in college baseball for so long, because it allows the younger guys to be able to pick so many different guys' brains. And in college athletics, I think that's very important to find what these guys want to grab and pull from all these other different people and what they want to put into themselves. And so I feel like having all of these different resources helps a team grow and helps a team reach that next level.